Welcome back, guys. You're watching Today's Platinum, and today we're going to be going over the daily news as well as updates in the cryptocurrency market. So if you guys enjoy videos like this, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more just like this. So obviously today we're seeing quite a red day. Bitcoin down about 7.2% in the last 24 hours, looking at a price point of about 6,738, and other market leaders like Ethereum down 7.8%, Ripple down 8%, Bitcoin Cash down 10.7%, EOS down 17.2%. So clearly not a good day for Bitcoin. Litecoin down to 105.04, down 7.6%. So across the board, we're seeing pretty low prices. Neo at $44, haven't seen that in a while. Moving down, Icon at 2.9, Zilliqa at 9 cents. Let's see what else we can find. Steam at 178, Wanchain at 337. So we're seeing a lot of very low prices, guys. It could be time to start to snatch some of those up, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in another video probably today. But guys, let's just take a look at Bitcoin's price. So what happened with Bitcoin, right? We were starting to move up. We were at 7,000, pushed up to about 78. Looks like we tried to revisit that, got rejected again, and then we finally come crashing down here. It looks like we are going through the bottom of this long-term wedge. I can't draw another one here. This is the one I had drawn for a while, and nothing should have happened. Shouldn't have broke through this wedge, at least for a few weeks, based on this wedge. But clearly, we broke down through, sitting at the support of about 67 right now. As you can see, we've triple bottomed at this support right back here, around 6,700. Again, right here, we came down a little bit lower to around 65, as well as it looks like we touched, 65 was that number. So what do I expect here? I expect to touch 65 possibly, and I expect to move up after that. I mean, seeing an oversold point on the one-day chart, we don't usually see that, and when we do, we usually see a large bounce back after that point. So considering we're triple bottoming here, starting to show some support right around this number, hopefully we can continue to move up from here. But unfortunately, we did not see that breakout that we were hoping for. We just have to continue to think long term and plan ahead for the market. So that's what we're looking at today. Bitcoin took a pretty sharp drop. Hopefully we'll see some buying power start to move in. Let me actually pull up the volume indicator, because I'm pretty sure we're actually seeing pretty low numbers of volume. As you can see, we've kind of seen an overall decrease in volume over the last few months or so. So obviously we aren't seeing new liquidity, so chances of the price pushing up a ton, very low. I think all of the talk about regulation, the CFTC probe into price manipulation, as well as the overall global financial markets and other circumstances are starting to push this down. A lot of people saying that FUD is the reason. There was a hack on Bitcoin on one of the other exchanges a few days ago. So there's a lot of reasons that could have caused this. So we'll take a look at some of those in some of the stories. But right now, looking to hold above 6,700. If we break below that point, I would look to hold at least above 65. I think that's a good point to hold above. We've seen support there before. We are triple bottoming, so hopefully we can keep above this number and continue to push up longer term. If not, then I could expect to fall further, and the next support I would expect to be about 5,500, and then below that 4,000 to 4,500. So hopefully we don't get to those levels, but always want to plan ahead. So Bitcoin and altcoins under heavy selling pressure. Bitcoin price moved deep into the red zone with a break below the USD 7,500 support. Ethereum prices settled below the 550 support, which is a bearish sign. Almost all small market cap coins are in the red zone. So yeah, almost everything, guys, is in the red zone. As you can see, actually, I think everything on the front page except Veritasium is in the red. So quite a bad day for cryptocurrency, but again, guys, it's just one day. We will see the market recover from this. I guarantee it. We just have to, keep calm and wait for it. So Bitcoin price failed to surpass the USD 7,800 barrier on multiple occasions, which resulted in a downside reaction. Bitcoin USD declined heavily and moved below the USD 7,000 handle. It almost traded close to the 6,500 support level and formed a low around 6,600, 66 to 67. At the moment, the price is currently consolidating losses above the 6,500 support. On the upside, there are a few important resistances around the 6,800 and 7,000 levels. Supports are near USD 6,600 and USD 6,500. So that's really what we're looking for with Bitcoin. So enough about the talk about what happened. Obviously, guys, we want to see some recovery, but I'm not too worried considering we are oversold on the one-day chart. I don't expect to fall much further if we do fall at all after this point. So crypto giant Binance goes fiat. Binance, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges by trading volume, has announced that cryptocurrency traders will soon be able to convert cryptocurrencies into fiat currency, such as the euro. Bloomberg reported, citing CEO Zhao Changpeng. The euro trading should commence later this year from their Malta base. So said that they plan to add other fiat currencies without elaborating further. Many popular exchanges only offer crypto-to-crypto trading to evade regulatory scrutiny. However, this limits the client's ability to cash out, and offering fiat trading pairs would be a first for Binance. The company is growing with incredible speed and now has 9 million users compared to 2 million in the beginning of this year. They are set to receive an exchange license from Jersey in the Channel Islands and plan to open an office there with as many as 100 staff. The company is also in talks with authorities and banks in Taiwan, Zhao said. As of the time of writing, Binance was the second largest cryptocurrency exchange by trading volume, preceded only by OKX. This sets it into third place in the category of cryptocurrency exchanges, as BitMEX has the greatest trading volume. So, looks like Binance is going to work in some fiat trading. I think that will be good for the market, possibly push some more volume into the market, get some new liquidity. Fiat trading, especially on Binance, with being one of the largest exchanges, definitely going to be a good thing for the market, so that you can, go ahead and actually be able to convert your currencies into fiat. So, sorry guys, I have a bit of a cough this morning, but just one last story I wanted to go over with you guys. What would happen to crypto in a global market meltdown? Now, this is kind of the story I wanted to focus on for this video. Kind of ties into the price drop. What would happen to a crypto in a global market meltdown? So, just going to get into the opposing scenarios. So some crypto holders salivate at the idea of a market panic. They contend that unlike the 2008-2009 collapse, when Satoshi Nakamoto's newly launched cryptocurrency was essentially out of sight and unavailable to the hordes seeking a haven from the fiat world's chaos, Bitcoin is now widely recognized as a more versatile alternative to traditional flight to safety assets such as gold. In a crisis, they say, Bitcoin could shine, as might other cryptocurrencies designed as alternatives to fiat cash, such as Monero and Zcash, unaffected by future monetary policy responses, immune from draconian interventions such as the Cypriot bank deposit freeze of 2013, and easily acquired. They could prove their value as digital havens for the digital age in such a moment. Accordingly, the bull's argument goes their prices would surge. On the other hand, if there's enough of a market-wide departure from risky investments, it's hard not to see this sector being swept up in it. Just as the most extreme gains in crypto prices in the latter part of 2017 were inextricably linked to the rapid risk on uptrend seen in stocks, commodities, and emerging market assets, so too a major sell-off could easily infect these new markets. Cryptocurrencies and tokens are perceived by most ordinary investors as high-risk assets. You buy them with money you can afford to lose when you're feeling upbeat about market prospects. When the mood sours, this class of investment is typically the first to be retrenched as investors scramble to get cash. At $300 billion, according to CoinMarketCap's undoubtedly inflated estimates, the market cap of the overall crypto token market is more than 3 times its value of a year ago, even though it's down more than half from its peak in early January. but it's less than 1% of the end 2017 market cap of $54.8 trillion for the S&P Global Broad Market Index, which includes most stocks from 48 countries. If risk-hungry investors are panicking and looking for things to dump, or for that matter, if they're looking for something safe to buy, it won't take much of their funds to move the crypto markets one way or another. Low correlations backing the Bitcoin bulls argument is the fact that correlations between cryptocurrency and mainstream risk assets, the degree to which price moves in tandem with each other, are quite low. A 90-day correlation matrix compiled by analytics firm Cipher put Bitcoin's correlation with the S&P 500 index of U.S. equities at minus 0.14. That's a statistically neutral position since one represents a perfect positive correlation, while negative one is a perfectly negative relationship. But they say that in a crisis, all correlations go to 1. The panic state of the crowd, with investors selling whatever they can offload to cover debts and margin calls, means that everything could go out with the flood. Intellectually, 2, that sort of wholesale downturn would comfortably stand as a logical counterpoint to the conditions seen last year when market valuations reached excessive levels. We cannot separate the flood of money that flew into crypto at the end of the year from the fact that 8 years of quantitative easing had driven a hunt for yield in once obscure markets as the return shrank on now pricey mainstream investments such as corporate bonds. So with bonds funds paying a little more than, say, 2% for years, Bitcoin looked attractive to mainstream investors. When that artificially stoked liquidity disappears, the reverse could happen. Despite all of this, I do believe a global financial crisis could be an important testing moment for crypto assets. Perhaps there will be a two-phase effect. In the immediate aftermath of the panic, there will be a sell-off as every market is hit by the liquidity squeeze. But after things settle, one can imagine that the narrative around Bitcoin's uncorrelated returns and its status as a hedge against government and banking risk would gain more attention. Just like the mid-2013 surge in Bitcoin that accompanied the Cypriot crisis lesson that they can come for your bank account but not for your private keys, so too a wider financial crunch could spur conversation around Bitcoin's immutable, decentralized qualities and help build a case for buying it. The wider point here is that whether it's an aligned element that rises and falls in sync with the broader marketplace or as a contrasting alternative to it, cryptocurrencies can't be viewed in isolation from the rest of the world. So, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry for coughing just early in the morning, but that's quite a long article. I know I just read a lot, but what do you guys think? What do you guys think would happen in a global financial meltdown? My opinion would basically be this. So at first, I do believe that, if there was a meltdown tomorrow, I do believe at first we would drop down at least, pretty low. We would have a pretty low drop just because if there was a global financial crisis, I do believe this market would also be hit with that first punch of liquidity, maybe not as much as other markets. Maybe, we'll only see price drop to maybe 5,000, 4,000. But then after that, I do believe we'll start to stabilize and definitely start to see a large bounce back for new liquidity in this market, considering what has happened with other markets, considering if there was a financial crisis. So I do expect if there was a financial crisis, obviously a price drop at the beginning, but then over time, stable growth and more liquidity being added into market, and this market to become more inflated than it was before, as a lot of new money would begin to enter, starting to seek refuge from the global crisis. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think, what do you think Bitcoin would do in a global financial crisis? Would it crash all the way to zero? Would it crash at all? Would it pump? What do you guys think? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. So yeah, just let me know in the comments. But guys, that is going to be all for this daily update. I do want you guys to make sure you check out my channel for my second video today. We're going to be talking a little bit about markets in general and why you need to have the right mindset when investing, especially in cryptocurrency. So definitely check that out. Look for that later today. But guys, this is going to be all for this video. So if you're not already, make sure to subscribe and also leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Check out some of our resources in the description. We do offer one-on-one coaching, so definitely take a look at that. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.